all the way up, and with the downforce. So you want to be right where Jeff is, with your left front tire is right there. You're still going to be touching the dip, but nowhere near as hard, and it doesn't upset the car. And again, geometrically speaking, it's a little bit odd, but it's because of the dip and thanks to the compression that you can do it. So you want to be out here, and just about where that cone is where you start tightening up your hands up the hill. And you want to aim with your front tires right here on that patch, right here. And then you keep turning a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And now you look at the beginning of the curb right here. And then you go straight at the Marshall box, the white Marshall box, which Jeff is blocking. You want to be on the left edge of that Marshall box. That's as far left as you ever need to go. Any further left, and you see how much camber there is, any further left, you're gonna have to climb back out.
Get sucked out.
You're better off going straight at this, do your downshift, 2 downshifts from 5th to 3rd in the F3, and then you will look for the 5th stripe, whether blue or yellow, to get to the apex of turn 2 earlier than you think. See, right here, and then you ride it out, because no matter what, with the crest, you can't do anything. So you wait, the car will want to understeer here first, then it will want to oversteer out. So you wait, pick up some gas, but you only can go to full power about here. Right at the very edge. Use all of the road. And then you stay here, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippis. You want to line up the 2nd and 3rd cone on the right, not the 1st and 2nd. And when they line up, that's when you line yourself up. And now you are parallel to the road, almost parallel to the downhill. And you want to turn in just past that 2nd cone. Now you see here, very steep downhill, and then massive compression. Right. Here I turn in a little bit early, and then where you see it's not so evident right now with the light,
the square,
but there is a big rectangular that goes all the way up, which is from so much load from all the cars. The pavement keeps cracking up, and you want to land the car literally onto this right here. And now you can both turn more and give it more power, which is against the string theory, but because you gain so much grip, that's what you want to go. Now here you see that PA box with the yellow light, and then after that there is a black pole on the right side. You see that? So at speed it's very hard to catch all this, but you will be sitting on the ground. We're about 1.5 feet higher than where you will be. Okay? So you want to be looking for that in relationship to the curb. And you want to turn right here, just as you get to the top of the curb when it lines up with the cone. You turn. You still want to be turning to the right as you're going uphill. And you lift then, and then you go back to power. Because now it's go uphill to 0 to downhill. It's the recipe for you to feel 0 G's for the longest. Never plan on using the exit curb. Off camber plus grooved. Typically when you plan on using it, you end up with the wheels on the dirt, which now the car is bottoming out, and that's how you end up on the inside. So right inside the line, you can get right to that flat portion. This is 4th gear. Brakes, downshift to 3rd. And now you turn into here, and that's the one. If you're not carrying the brakes, at least until this seam, if not right to the apex, you're not carrying enough speed into 4. If you can get away and you have no understeer without having to load the car, you're not going fast enough through it. That being said, from here out, you see, I'm not giving it any power. You see how much speed the car is picking up. So I can be fairly aggressive with power on, because I'm not going to get wheel spin. It's just going to shoot down the hill. Does that make sense? 3rd gear. Then I'll go to 4th, just where that cone is. And this is a straightaway, flat out, on the floor, right down to the apex here, flat out. And if I wanted to, I could easily stay right by the yellow line. But I do want to free the car, because that's 1.7 G's that I'll be feeling, until at least I see that bathroom way on top of that block. Until I see that bathroom, I am flat on the gas. When I see the bathroom, I start thinking about lifting. Okay? And I really want to lift and brake when I'm right here. This is one of the 2 spots on this racetrack where you don't have to be from gas to brakes. You can go from gas to brakes because you want that load transfer to be a little bit slower because you're right on top of the hill. Does that make sense? So you don't want it to be too sharp. Why am I in the center of the track? If I'm on the right side, I will have to turn in right here, which is just on top when the car is light. If I'm here, even if I'm going to turn at the same geometric line, I will end up turning in here. Now the car has landed on the other side. Does that make sense? So it's a lot more settled. And off I go. Plus you see the camber. No camber on the inside, no camber on the outside, camber right in the middle. It's almost like an oval right here. Just downhill oval. And you can ride the middle of the course, back to some power, then you see the timing boards, and then when you see the apex, you start to bring the car back in. Because that camber, look what happens right at the bottom. It just goes whoop, negative. Plus there is that massive compression and release. So right here is where you want to be. And the car right here will squat. Right here I'm back to full power. And the car will squat and then jump out. And I need to maybe open up the hands so that I can bring it out, so that it doesn't rebound too much. All of this in 4th gear. And then I bring the car back over, and that first brake marker is too late. But it's a reference. You get on the brakes, downshift to 2nd, and you want to aim 5 feet past the yellow line with your right front tires.
Oh, we're turning here.
Yes, we're doing short 7. Up the hill. And you see how steep that is, how dirty that is. And no matter what you do, you will not be able to pick up any substantial power before this crest. Because on the crest, the car will whoop. So that's where it would be, you would be tempted to go turn in later to pick up the gas back there and carry speed here. You can't because of this crest. Does that make sense? So might as well carry the speed in and then go. Now this is a straightaway, flat out, 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th right here, but you can go straight curb to curb. No need to compromise, just go straight. 4th to 5th, flat out. Use all the road. Feels like the road is gonna fall away from you, but it's there. 2nd cone on the brakes, hard, down to 2nd gear. This is the only curb I want you to use. Use some of that curb here, back to power, lift again, some of the curb here, back to power, look at the dirt. And then from the dirt, you look at right at the seam between that gray and Toyota side. And then apex, and then Brazil IT. That's what you need to look at. Anything else is irrelevant. Free the car all the way through, up to 5th gear, go beyond the dip, yet you want to brake within the dip. When you get that compression, that's when you hit the dip and get on the brakes. And then you need to fade away the brake pedal because now you lose that camber. Get early into right over that paint and then keep turning, and now start turning less, which means power. And what's the best way not to hit this wall? Is to actually open up your hands and drive to it. As you had the perfect example, Mark, you were keeping your hands in and eventually the car would go into oversteer. Mm-hmm. And that understeer could lead you to hit or hit with the rear. If you drive to it, not into it, but to it, the car is not going to do anything. It's going to be sanitary and fastest. Make sense? So use the road. 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th. Fourth to 5th, just before start finish. Same thing here, make sure you're close to the wall on the outside. As you feel the start finish, you turn and you go right over the groove right here. And you look at my hands, look at my steering input. I put it there and it takes me right to where we were when we started. And then I just add more steering. So it was one throw. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
And then Marshall box. 2 gears, down to 3rd, turn in, now no stopping, we do for a couple of laps. 3rd to 4th, brush on the brakes, turn in, feel the compression, land the car, feed the gas up, lift again to rotate, Back to some power. On the brakes, downshift to third, carry them right to the apex. Patient, 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 patient. Feed the gas. Feel the way I come off the brakes too in this car. You should be able to feel that I'm coming off the brakes, but it should be very hard for you to tell when I get to that 0 number. And that's what you want, that brake release super soft, so that the tires don't get unloaded. And they keep turning at the most efficient. And back to some power. And patient, patient. The gas. This is flat out. This is a straightaway in the F3. Carry the brakes in, patient, feel my brake release. Back to power. And the angle for turn 1. Feather on the gas and go. In this car I'll stay in third, but you go to fourth in the F3. Here's the compression. Bottom. Better nibbling up the curb than missing it. The brakes, carry them through. Patient, 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 patient. Floor. Go to fourth, floor. Carry them through. Patient, patient, patient on the car. Feather on the gas. Floor. Get the rotation in. Just like that.
Yeah, I feel nauseous from that.
That's why I don't want to do it more. One lap is enough. But see, it's one thing after the other. It's not about, being mega busy in there. Just do the right thing at the right time. Let the car go fast for you.